the mirror, but what stared back wasn't him. Flames curled around his reflection, skin melting off bone as it screamed in agony. But then the reflection turned and whispered, "You saw it, now it's too late." Behind him, a faceless figure appeared, and in a voice as cold as death, it said, "Shh, it's already begun." There's an old Appalachian road in North Carolina that people avoid after sunset. They say if you follow it far enough, you'll find a mansion lost in time, one that appears only in the thickest fog. That's where Ryan and his cousin went one stormy night, chasing ghost stories they never believed in, until that night. Inside the decaying Victorian house, they discovered something strange in the attic. A tall mirror, wrapped tightly in a dusty black cloth. The air turned colder the moment they touched it. Shadows on the walls moved, even when they didn't. The place felt alive, like it was waiting for something. Old newspapers were scattered on the floor, yellowed and brittle. One headline read, "Entire family dies, no visible injuries." Another, "Cursed mirror returned to Black Hollow." Each page hinted at a silent witness to death, something that watched from behind glass. Ryan's cousin pulled the cloth away, revealing the mirror, but it didn't reflect them. It showed only pitch black, like looking into a void. And then, ever so faintly, it exhaled. A soft mist rolled out from the mirror's surface, carrying the scent of smoke and something burnt. Ryan whispered, "It's just a trick, right?" But his cousin didn't answer. His eyes were locked on the black surface. Something inside it was watching them. The mirror had no border, no reflection, just an endless, rippling darkness that felt aware. At midnight, Ryan stood alone before the mirror. A single candle flickered beside him. The air was unnaturally still. The mirror shimmered, and for a moment he saw something. Himself. Dying. His reflection was engulfed in fire, skin melting, eyes boiling. The mouth opened in a silent scream. The room behind him burned. But then, the reflection turned its head and looked directly at Ryan. It smiled. Behind that burning version of himself, a tall figure emerged. It had no face, no eyes, no mouth, just a smooth, bone-colored head and long, thin fingers. It stepped forward, leaned toward the reflection, and whispered, "Now you know." Ryan stumbled backward, heart pounding. He dropped his flashlight, and the attic went black. He didn't scream. He couldn't. A sound like cracking glass echoed behind him, but when he turned back, the mirror was whole, untouched, waiting. That night, Ryan dreamed of fire, of himself burning. Every night after that, the dream returned, more vivid, more painful. He'd wake gasping, soaked in sweat, the smell of smoke in his nose. But what came next terrified him even more. Weeks later, back home in suburban Ohio, everything seemed normal again. His wife made coffee, their dog barked outside. And then, a delivery arrived, a wooden crate with no sender. Inside was the mirror. His wife smiled, oblivious. "I found it in an antique store. Isn't it beautiful?" she said. Ryan couldn't speak. It was the same mirror, the exact same one. Somehow, it had followed him. Later that evening, Ryan walked past the mirror, but it didn't show his reflection, not even the room behind him. Just black, deep, endless black that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. The surface rippled again. His reflection returned, screaming, burning, dying. But now it was closer. The faceless figure appeared again, pointing forward. This time Ryan understood. It wasn't pointing at his reflection, it was pointing at him. The hallway light flickered. A tall shape appeared behind him. Still, silent, faceless. Ryan froze. The mirror behind him began to glow. A whisper echoed, "It begins tonight." The floor cracked beneath his feet. Red light glowed from the cracks. Smoke curled upward like hands reaching from below. The wallpaper peeled, the mirror pulsed. It was no longer showing death, it was causing it. Ryan grabbed a chair, screamed, and hurled it at the mirror. Glass shattered into 1,000 pieces. But before the shards could hit the floor, they reassembled, whole again. The reflection now showed the faceless figure standing directly behind him. Neighbors saw the fire, but it wasn't like any fire they knew. It burned black, without heat, without sound. The house collapsed in eerie silence, no screams, only whispers. The next day, investigators found 2 bodies, one burnt beyond recognition, the other without a face, no trace of the mirror. It had vanished, as if it was never there. Weeks later, in a dusty little antique store in Louisiana, the mirror stood under soft golden light. A curious customer admired its strange, borderless frame. Behind him, the glass shimmered, and a faint voice echoed through the silence. Look closely, you're next. If you ever see a mirror that doesn't show your reflection, don't look again. Because once it sees you, it never forgets. Like, share, and subscribe for more true horror stories. And remember, some mirrors don't reflect your past, they reveal your end.